My name's Calvin Waite, and I trade Bitcoin and cryptocurrency for a living. So let's look at Ethereum Classic. Ethereum Classic is a coin that has had a little bit of a rough history. It essentially took the higher ground when Ethereum split, back when there was a fiasco about the DAO that was hacked, and they essentially forked it to recover coins that were stolen. And Ethereum Classic was like, no, we want a blockchain to be immutable. We don't want to go, be able to be manipulated to change the history, and that just shows that it's too centralized. So there was a whole bunch of politics back around when Ethereum Classic continued moving forward and Ethereum split off. But obviously, Ethereum's been way more successful and has had way more work put on it, and leadership and all of that. So a lot of people have kind of discounted Ethereum Classic, and over the past few years it has really sold off pretty hard. But after a coin has lived for a long time, and after it's had years of price discovery and sort of sentiment, the coin can have opportunities. And so I kind of wanted to show you a couple of things here. So around this this would be, it looks like 5,000, but it's 50,000 Satoshi mark. We finally hit this bottom and stabilization period. And this stabilization period allowed investors to finally feel like there was some confidence in a change, and it nearly tripled. So there is money to be made even in a coin that has had some trouble. So lately we've on the news, it's had 51% attacks, and it just seems to never get a break. But if you look at the daily, I wanted to show you that we are deep in this red zone. We've been in a red zone for a solid little over 2 months. And I like to trade. I created this indicator myself, and what it shows you is that when you get out of a red zone, it's usually one of the best chances to buy into one of these coins. And if you ever can hang on to it and wait for a green zone to appear, usually exiting when the green zone ends is generally a pretty good exit. And so I've been watching Ethereum Classic very closely, simply because the coin has been in this nice solid red zone, and at any time we will be breaking out of this red zone. So our buying opportunity might be back, and if we were to enter this right now, the entry would be just as good or better than when we could have entered back in December. So there's a chance that this could make some good money. So let me explain a little bit about what these green and red zones mean. So all I've done is I've looked at the 50-day, the 100-day, and the 200-day moving averages. And any time where they are stacked correctly, so we have the 50 on top of the 100, which is on top of the 200, and they're all sloping upward. At least the 50 and the 100 are sloping upward. That's what my green zone is. If anything changes, also the price needs to be above the 50. So when it drops below the 50, we're now in a yellow zone. Or if the slope of the 50 or the slope of the 100 starts turning down, it'll turn yellow also. And yellow just represents unknown or caution. It doesn't always mean we're going to flip into a red zone and have a big sell-off period. It can also mean that we're just below the 50 for a bit, we're taking a breather, and then we're back up. And when we pop up, sometimes we'll go right back into a green zone. So it's not an exact science, but it gives you a pretty good idea visually of whether a coin is struggling or not. So the opposite of the green zone is this red zone. And when price is below the 50, and the 50 is below the 100, and the 100 is below the 200, we're in this situation where everything is just selling off. Well, when we finally get above the 50, or when one of these trends changes direction, we essentially go to a white zone where we're just totally neutral. There's too many variables, so it's not a specific color. But man, the fortunes are made when we can get out of this section here. So watch Ethereum Classic like a hawk, because if we break out, if we just close the day above the 50, Ethereum Classic is a screaming buy. And right now, you can see that the 50 is at 5613. So we're about 56,000 Satoshi. And we're at 53 here. So we're really hugging it closely. We just can't quite get there. But at some point, and it could be this bottom that we've been waiting for, it could be this giant descending support line that we're getting close to. But if it touches one of these and just moves a little bit, we'll be out of this red zone. And this is going to be sort of a sleeping giant. Coins that everyone's written off and people don't have any faith in, or if it's got a baggage or history, a lot of times people forget about them, but then they're caught unaware. Because if you think about it, if you think about how markets work, markets price in everything. The current price of Ethereum Classic already has priced in 51% attack possibilities. It's priced in any of the baggage that has ever happened that faces Ethereum Classic. It's already priced in. This is what people think that it is worth, even with all of those things. So all it takes is a change in sentiment and a change in momentum or enthusiasm behind some investors, and the prices completely can run, because there's no negative sentiment that's holding it back anymore. It's only going to be price action that changes the direction. So I am looking forward to a move across here, and I will gladly be putting some investment into Ethereum Classic. It's definitely one of those that has a decent volume, and it has a great possibility of having a 100% return. We just have to be patient and make sure that the structure is in place before we do. So keep looking at that, and hopefully that'll give you guys an edge when the markets start turning back around. Hey, thanks for hanging on till the end of the video. If you liked anything I said, please support the channel by subscribing. If not, feel free to leave a comment, and I'd be happy to take a look and make improvements to the channel so it'll be better next time.